I'm Detective Imani Petty, 29 years old. I earned that badge with my best friend, Detective Lilanik, high school together. Police academy together, same wedding day. Yeah, we even share trauma efficiently. But tonight, the city felt different. Colder. A call had come in, no details, just an address. An abandoned warehouse district where forgotten things go to die. Synchronized, even on the worst nights. We stepped out into the damp, cold air, the flashing blues and reds of the squad cars, painting the scene in an eerie light. Lila looked over at me, her face a mask of professional calm, but her eyes gave away the tension. You feel that? She asked, her voice low. A shiver that had nothing to do with the cold ran down my spine. If this ends with puzzles, I'm quitting, I muttered, half joking. We approached the massive, rusted metal door of the warehouse. I pushed, it groaned, and as it swung open, a loud digital beep echoed from within. We froze. On a massive screen inside, a timer glowed in stark red, 9:59. 9:58. Nobody told us the details. That's how you know it's bad. The inside of the warehouse was a scene from a fever dream. Puzzles were scattered everywhere, on tables, on the floor, hanging from chains. Handwritten riddles were taped to the walls, and a clothesline was strung across the room. Polaroids of terrified faces clipped to it like a grotesque photo display. And dominating it all was that giant red countdown clock. Its numbers ticking away our chances. I walked over to a table and picked up a note written in a sharp, angry script. I read it aloud. 10 minutes to solve the case. For every minute wasted, another victim is added. Lila came up beside me. That's aggressive, she said. I stared at the handwriting, a strange feeling of familiarity creeping in. That's petty, I replied. Just as the word left my lips, the clock suddenly jumped, stealing a minute and a half. The pieces were large, wooden. As we worked, the image of a police badge began to form. When we snapped the last piece into place, text appeared, glowing faintly on the surface. What do you see when you look at yourself? It asked. Lila answered without hesitation, her voice firm. Authority. My answer was different, a whisper I almost swallowed. Guilt. The puzzle flipped over on its own, revealing more text on the back. Check the mirrors. We turned to a wall lined with dusty, cracked mirrors. At first, they just reflected our own stressed faces. But then I saw it. Names were scratched into the glass, almost invisible. One name seemed to burn brighter than the others, a name that sent a jolt through me. Marcus Reed, our first big arrest. Our first big lie. The clock ticked mercilessly on. 6:12, my heart was pounding. Marcus Reed, the name tasted like ash in my mouth. We moved deeper into the warehouse. Drawn by another message scrawled in huge letters across a brick wall. I follow you home. I sleep between you. I watch your love rot. The words hung there, an accusation aimed directly at us. I knew what it meant. Lila knew too. I could see it in the way she wouldn't meet my eyes. Taped to the wall just below the riddle was a photo from our wedding day, a picture of two happy couples, smiling for the camera. A sharp, loud beep from the clock made us jump, followed by a faint, muffled scream from a speaker somewhere in the rafters. Our eyes darted to the clock. It jumped again. 5 o'clock. Time was slipping through our fingers, and so was the lie we built our lives on. This whole setup, this twisted game, it was all connected. Marcus Reed, our past, our secrets. We found a small, heavy lockbox sitting on a pedestal in the center of the room. It had 3 combination dials, each labeled with a word: high school, academy, TRIAL. It was a timeline of our shared history, a test of our memory. My hands flew to the dials, my mind racing through the years. High school. Our locker was right next to each other. Locker 217, I said, spinning the dial. Police academy. We graduated together. Top of our class. Graduation 2017. And the trial. Marcus Reed's trial. I hesitated for a second, the memory sharp and painful. The box sprang open. Inside, a cell phone lit up and started to ring. The caller ID was a single name, Marcus. My hand trembled as I answered and put it on speaker. A video call connected, and a face I hadn't seen in years filled the screen. Marcus Reed. He was thinner, his face harder, but the intelligence in his eyes was the same. Detectives, he said, a cold smile playing on his lips. Still married to the lie? Lila found her voice first, her words laced with fury. You ruined lives. No, I reminded you who you really were. I gave you the case that made your careers. You just had to bend one little rule to close it. He leaned closer to the camera. Now, time's almost up. Someone has to pay for that lie. Text appeared on the warehouse screen behind him. One of you confesses. Sign the affidavit, or they all pay. On the pedestal next to the phone, a pen and a document materialized from a hidden compartment. The clock showed 1 o'clock. Silence stretched between me and Lila, thicker and heavier than the warehouse fog. 60 seconds to decide the fate of innocent people and the fate of our careers, our lives, our friendship. We looked at each other. No words were needed. We had started this together, we would end it together. We both reached for the pen. We both signed the confession. As the last stroke of the pen hit the paper, the clock hit 0 o'clock. It stopped. A loud click echoed through the warehouse as locks disengaged somewhere far away. The victims were saved. On the phone screen, Marcus Reed's image flickered and went dark. He was gone. Justice didn't win tonight. We walked out of the warehouse as the sun began to rise, painting the sky in shades of gray and orange. We had confessed. We had lost our badges, our reputations. But the hostages were safe. In the cold light of dawn, that was the only victory that mattered. He didn't win, but we didn't either. Guess that makes this a draw. If you like this story, like, share, subscribe, and drop a comment for more. Trust me, we've got plenty of time.